Hello friends. Okay, so we were looking the modes, different modes. Okay, here. So I just told you that there are three modes. Okay, reverse blocking mode, reverse conduction mode. We don't take it. We don't consider. Then this is a forward blocking mode. Okay, and forward conduction mode is when you apply get pulse. Then that time these NP junction, which is a reverse bias. Okay, that junction get forward bias. When you give get pulse to the this particular terminal. Okay, then the junction get forward bias, and then as J1 and J3 are already forward bias and conducting. This was a reverse bias, so whole device will start conducting. This is how device conducts, and that conduction is called as a forward conduction mode. Okay. Here see reverse blocking mode when cathode is made positive. What I will explain you is given in a written writing here. Okay. So here you can see this is in reverse side. This is a reverse leakage current. This is reverse breakdown voltage. Okay. Then from here this is forward leakage current. This is forward breakover voltage. Okay. When it get junction get break, and this is forward conducting mode, and this drop is called as a forward voltage drop. Now there are two main terminology which I am introducing in this diagram, which is called as a holding current and latching current. Now what is latching current? Latching current is a current at or a point at which your device start conducting. Okay, though you can see this is also conduction, but actually it start conducting from here. So that point is called as a latching current. And holding current is when you when you remove the gate pulse, then current start reducing. Okay, so at latching point, it doesn't get turn off. It remains in turn on state for some more time till this point. Okay. After this point, this device get turned off. So the point till which it kept on conducting is called as a holding current. Okay. Then we will see two transistor analogy. Now the principle of thyristor operation can be explained with two transistor analogy. I have already told you that transistor is a PNPN device. Okay, so if we look carefully, we can see there is a PNP and NPN. We can see transistor thyristor as a two different transistor. This model can be obtained by bisecting two middle layers into separate halves. Okay, see here. This is one SCR thyristor. Okay, this is anode, cathode, and gate. PNPN. Now what we did, we split these two middle layers in two different halves. Okay. Then if I separate or split this particular part NPN and PNP, see here PNP and NPN. Okay. Though I bisect, it should not electrically differentiated. Hence, I have shown the connection in between. This N and N is connected. This P and P is connected. Then we can say this is a PNP device. This is NPN device. So PNP device means what? It is a PNP transistor. See, PNP transistor, and this is a NPN device means NPN transistor. Here this N and this N is connected. Okay, so this is a base, no? So this base and this collector is connected, and here this emitter and this base should be connected. So here, sorry, collector. This collector and this base is connected. Okay, so this is how we can represent SCR, okay, as a two different transistors. Okay, and hence it is called as a two transistor analogy. Now here we can see that for transistor you must know general equation, which is a collector current IC equal to alpha IE plus ICP. Okay, now for transistor 1, this is the first transistor, no? For transistor 1, I can say IC1 is equal to alpha 1 IE1 plus ICBO1. Okay, so this is the equation which I am writing for particular transistor. Okay, but instead now I am writing for transistor 1, I have used suffix 1. Okay, so instead I say IC1 alpha IE1 then ICBO1. Okay, now we can see that what is sorry, here IE1 now. What is IE1? See here, where is IE? Emitter. What is IE1? IE1 is nothing but IA. See, this is collector and this is emitter. Okay, so what IE1? IE current is nothing but you can see this is IA. So IE is nothing but IA. Okay, so I will replace that IE with IA. IC1 equal to alpha 1. Instead IE1, I have written now IA plus ICBO1. Right? Now for transistor 2, I will modify this equation. IC2 equal to alpha 2 IE2 plus ICBO2. Right? Now for transistor 2, you can see IE2. IE2 means this is emitter. This IE2 is nothing but cathode current IK. So I can replace that IE2 by IK in this equation. You see, instead IE2 I can write IK. Okay. So now IK is nothing but IA plus IG. Okay, IE. This IE is nothing but IA plus IG. Okay, which I have written here, Ik plus equal to Ia plus Ig. Now if I replace that Ik with this equation, what will happen? What will happen? See here, Ik is the current which I am replacing by. Ik is nothing but this Ig plus, you can see Ia plus Ig. Ia, this whole current plus Ig, right, is Ik. So what I will do, IC2 equal to alpha to IE2. Instead of IE2, I can put IK, but instead of IK, I can put IA plus IG. So I have put IA plus IG plus ICBO2, right? Now from this, I got one equation as a IC equal to alpha I plus ICBO. Okay, generalized equation. IC equal to alpha I plus ICBO, generalized equation. Where alpha equal to common base current gain, ICBO is a common base leakage current. The external current I is addition of two collector currents from two transistors. So just now I told you here from this circuit you can see I equal to alpha 1 I plus ICBO plus alpha 2 I plus IG plus ICBO. Why? Because see here what I have written is this is this first two terms are nothing but IC1, second two terms are nothing but IC2, and this is IA. So what I am writing, IA equal to IC1 plus IC2. Going back, IA equal to IC1 plus IC2. Am I right? IA is equal to IC1 plus IC2. Right now, so IA equal to IC1 plus IC2. But IC1 is nothing but this. IC2 is nothing but this. So I have substituted IA equal to alpha 1 IA plus ICBO1 plus alpha 2 IA plus IG plus ICBO2. Okay, now IC2 is nothing but IB1. IC2 is nothing but IB1. See here, where it is IC2. See here, collector current of second transistor is nothing but base current of first transistor. Where it is IC2 equal to IB1. Hence, I can write equation for IA as alpha 2 IG plus ICBO1 plus ICBO2 divided by 1 minus alpha 1 plus alpha 2. Okay, this is how we have modified equation by using a two transistor analogy. Just a minute. Okay, sorry. Yes, so just now I said, so this is the equation, final equation. The external current IA is nothing but addition of two collector current IC1 plus IC2, right? Now IA, you can see IA is nothing but IC1 plus IC2. So here IA is nothing but this is IC1 plus IC2. Now if you rearrange this equation for IA, okay, here you can see instead IC2 you can put IB1, okay, and if you rearrange it for IA you will get this equation, okay. So this is called as a two transistor analogy of a SCR. Now thyristor turn-on method. Which are different turn-on method? There are total 5 turn-on method. Gate triggering, forward voltage triggering, then dV by dt triggering, temperature triggering, and light triggering. Okay, gate triggering I just explained you in a characteristics. Gate triggering means when we give pulse signal to the gate, by keeping anode positive and cathode negative, it start conducting. That is a gate triggering. Now, what is forward voltage triggering? Okay, see, this is gate triggering. Positive signal is applied at a gate terminal. By this, thyristor can be triggered much before breakover voltage is reached. How? See here, let me show you.